build muscle and lose fat on the carnivore diet.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with former self-proclaimed carnivore turned current sugar addict, Nicole. I'm also here with Jerome. I thought you were better than that.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction.
How's it going? We haven't filled everyone in that one yet, have we? I think we'll leave that one to be known at some point, maybe in the distant future. All right. What do you reckon? Then should we answer some questions, or should we just leave the chat and just not say anything? What do you prefer?
Questions are probably a good idea.
Yeah. I think we've got some already. So we've got one from Rick, apparently. Actually, we're actually on time. Unfortunately, you Americans don't know the difference between daylight savings and not daylight savings. So, yes, apparently I'm actually on time. Apparently it's actually you that's late. Or early, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just happy to be here.
The time is currently 7:18 p.m. UK time. In the US, it's like a different time to that. I don't really care, but yeah.
We don't care about you either, Jonathan.
Damn Americans. All right, so we'll get straight into questions. Sorry, Nicole, we've cut half your face off. My apologies. I like the Halloween decor, though.
There we go.
There we go. That's better.
Fixed it.
So the question is from Rick. What role does music play in workouts? Many people use the pounding and or electronic stuff, but I find elevator music to be my motivator. I've heard you say this before. I don't know. I think some people are quite sensitive to music, sensory-wise. For me, it has a very profound effect. If I listen to too buzzy music too much, it tends to get me a bit, I don't know, too aroused. So for me, it's not a good idea. It winds me up a bit. I tend to find I'll listen to like maybe about 10 minutes of music through my Bluetooth wireless headphones. Bluetooth, I mentioned, not wired, on the way to the gym. And that's about it. Usually be like rock music, maybe something orchestral, classical, I don't know. Something that just gets me in a bit of a rhythm, a bit of a beat. Then when I'm actually training in the gym, I don't really listen to music at all. I just tend to focus. Especially true if I'm training in the gym that's in Bournemouth, where I live at the moment. So not when I'm at Sophie's place, and that's they play loud stuff there, so you couldn't hear it anyway if I did want to listen to my music. So that's about it. What about you guys? What music do you guys like, and what do you think you play it if you're working out?
That's about it.
You just play that on repeat on the way to the gym in the car with the windows wide open.
What about
what
you,
serial
Jerome?
killer music do you play, Jerome?
Ironically, it's soundtracks from serial killer TV shows. So yeah, look at the background behind me if you have any doubts. Usually I don't even really listen to music before I work out. I tend to approach workouts as being very zen or meditative. I try and focus my concentration, really collect my thoughts, kind of go through the motions of everything I'm going to do. And for me, the fewer distractions with that, the better. When I first started training people here, I was very firm on no music. And then I realized that working some of the longer time under loads that I recommend, for some people, the momentary discomfort with the lactic acid buildup could be quite frustrating. So I allow a little bit of music for some people, because just having a little bit of a distraction sometimes helps people get a little bit better of a performance. But in general, for some people, I tend to think it's more of a distraction than something that's going to help them. But really, whatever works.
That's a great point. Yeah, it depends what your workout is as well. If you're doing something precise, intense workout where you're applying exact, mind to muscle connection, you're doing a chest press, you're doing a squat, a leg press, something which requires a lot of concentration to activate the muscles fully. Yeah, it's not going to be electronic. It's not going to be hip hop. It's going to be something quite calming, probably quite focused. For me, like building muscle is my goal. So I'm not going to listen to something which is upbeat. That's going to sort of, I don't know, get my heart going too much. Something that's going to be too like much pop music. That sort of thing. That's not going to work for me. The Lion King soundtrack is excellent. Excellent. Building muscle. Quite solemn. Quite, I don't know, quite upbeat, motivating, but not so like dum 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 dum. That gets a bit annoying.
I'm with the Baroness of Beef. I like to be so hyped that I could run through a wall. I listen to Disturbed, Eminem, and stuff like that when I lift.
Oh, geez.
I like to be like, raw! You know?
My brother and I went to a rock concert on Thursday night in London, and that was Europe. They made the song The Final Countdown. I don't know why people don't know that band. It's incredible. But they're back in like the 80s, and they've made some more recent songs as well. They were very good. Some music is all right to like cycle to the gym in, but not so much when you're training. They went to I didn't realize there's types of metal. I thought metal was just metal. There's like death metal, speed metal, heavy metal. I don't know. And we listened to loads of metal on Saturday night, and that was not as bad as what I thought, but not sort of music I could really train to. Not the way I train. It's not right. But yeah, I don't know. Each their own. We've actually got more stuff in the chat, apparently. Speaking of has commented. By the way, Rick gets 100 composition coins for turning up early. I'm actually going to offer Zbigniew 50 today. 50. So I've been coaching him now for 1 year, and he's been getting incredible results, which is not much of a surprise to me at all, because he does exactly what he needs to do, which is go to the gym, eat proper food, rest a bit. Simple, incredible. But he's got a pretty sick physique now for 50 years old or whatever he is. That's mad. Mad stuff. Excellent. We've got Alicia here. So Alicia actually did an interview with the steak and butter person on YouTube. And I think that video got like 70,000 views, which is pretty cool. So guys, check that out if you haven't yet already. And she has a YouTube channel, and she's back into it, starting up again, I believe. She had to have a little hiatus, like a little break. But she's now going to make some more videos, which is really cool. Matthew in the chat, nice to see you. Cheers for joining. It's really hard to see in these classes. You might have to take over in a bit, Jerome.
Sounds good.
Jerome, you won't be here for very long, but you've got something to go to soon, haven't you, in about half an hour or so?
Yeah, I have to pick up my kid from school, but I guess if she has to wait out in the cold, that's fine.
Yeah, as long as it's snowing outside, she'll be all right.
Yeah, it's bad enough I have to feed her once a week.
Ridiculous. Yeah, just give her a packet of, I don't know, M&Ms or something. I'll do the job.
Yeah, just a dry pack of ramen.
No water. Just
What?
no seasoning either. Greetings from Alaska. Thank you for joining. Let's get ready to rumble. Excellent. Do you guys like WWE?
Old school.
Jerome probably did.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was a big fan.
Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar.
Well, I'm a little older than you, so you have to take it back like another
like the
generation of
Undertaker.
wrestlers. Yeah.
Undertaker's cool. Yeah. Fair. Right, I still need to go for this. I believe that Susie has joined as well. Nice to see you, Susie.
Hey,
Thanks
Susie.
for joining. One of the friendliest channel members I have, which is very nice. Never once had to have any dealings with her. Yeah. This week I've blocked 3 people, which isn't too bad.
You only have dealings when we collab.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerome doesn't antagonize people enough to get that.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. You're going to spill the beans, Jerome, or should we just leave it?
What beans? Oh, yeah, maybe we'll touch on that a bit later.
Okay.
I had someone tell me they were disappointed in me this morning because I'm on TRT and I was going to compete in a drug-tested bodybuilding show. And then it kind of evolved into this conversation of what is natural. And I was just surprised. It was a bit taken aback and a bit surprised. But
Jerome, you are natural.
I'm not, but at this, like I've never run a cycle, and as much as I have to watch my blood pressure on TRT, I really feel like if I ever did a steroid cycle, it would probably blow out my heart. So, even if I ever wanted to, I don't think it's worth the risk for me.
Geared up carnivore confesses to heart attack.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll clip that.
I wonder if
fine.
he'll be called a big head like we were.
Yeah, those two big head coaches. No, those two fat head coaches don't know anything.
Really?
I was offended because I don't have a fat head. My head's actually tiny.
My head's enormous, so I was fine taking
Yeah.
that myself. But the plural bit I wasn't that keen on because it obviously spoke about Nicole, and I was like, that's a bit rude.
Yeah, I have a tiny head. That's
My head's
not
enormous.
nice.
Enormous head.
Hmm.
That BJ dude, what does that mean?
Background, not BJ. I don't. That's a different kind of dude.
Which one's? Probably one of yours, isn't it? Oh, it's yours, Dream, isn't it? It's dude.
I'm hoping there's someone in the audience that catches the pop culture reference.
Yeah, hopefully. Excellent. Take a break from my Monday chores to catch Jonathan. Thank you. Excellent. Yeah, in Alaska, it's probably like, I don't know, late morning, lunchtime, I don't know. It's always nice when people join from over the world. Joe of the junkyard.
That's fitting.
Yes. We need more questions in the super chat, please. The conversation's drying up. Jerome's tired.
There
Nicole,
are questions in there. You just haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, I'm too slow. I'll go quickly. Okay. Hi, Mike. Hi, Ben. Thank you for joining. Have I said hello to everyone yet? I don't know. Oh, Jesus Christ. Everything's blue. Monica. Hi, Monica. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Nourishment redacted. Ellie. Hi, Nourishment.
I'll be talking to her tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Is she worth following, or is she a disaster to deal with?
No one's a disaster. She has a small head, though. She has a small head, so.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I need the dopamine to go through workouts and chores. Yeah, my brother's like that. My brother and I spoke about music and gym before, and we're like, we're in the gym together. I think we kind of, he knows sort of music I like, and it's all right to listen to. But when it's just him, he listens to, imagine, quite a different kind of style. But then if he's doing washing up or something, he has all the music playing, whereas I hate any sound at all. I hate all sound. We're about to be joined by not Carnivore, definitely a mum, and definitely full of muscle. Sophie.
More estrogen.
All the estrogen.
Yeah.
Estrogen.
Estrogen? Is that how we say it? Estrogen?
I don't know. They can't even spell it right, so it doesn't matter what they say.
Female.
We have a different spelling to you guys. Sophie, what music before the gym or workouts or exercise activity?
Anything with a good beat.
That's
have a bit of Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, we love Rocky. When Sophie's driving to pick me up, we listen to like Rocky, the whole soundtrack pretty much. Then we listen to Wasp.
He still says, I want to beat some butter instead of be somebody. I can't
she thinks
now
it's
hear
like
it
a Carnivore song.
It's funny.
I'm going to get her on Europe when we next go in the car.
They're both like head nodding, and Maddie was like dancing as she does. Funny. That's her dance move. That is her dance move.
She goes,
yeah, and then a little bit of up and down,
and she also goes,
it. Oh yeah, she still does it.
Yeah, I taught her that one.
Proper head shake, proper like hair bounce. It's funny. We'll get her on one day and do it.
Getting to arouse is bad, but it can be good. Is that why Jonathan has a red head covering now? Sophie's mum bought me this cap. Excellent.
Oh, is that her holiday one?
Yeah, holiday one.
Oh, nice.
I've got a whole selection of caps, but I never actually wear caps.
Okay.
But now I've got a reason to, so that's right.
Yeah, but who runs? Do you know what I mean? If you see me running, there's a problem.
Yeah, we don't like running. Maddie can now run, guys. She can like go.
I think she's actually quicker than Jonathan.
She's quicker than me. Yeah, I think Sophie's dad went to like ring the doorbell or something. I literally stood up, walked towards the door or the gate to get the gate, and I turned around and she was at the doorstep. I was like, "How did you get there so quickly?" What?
Speed.
She's a midget. She's like that big.
Yeah. Speedy. Got to watch out for her now.
Yeah. My gym plays all sorts of pop and rock music, but not so loud, and I can tune it out. Can't tune it out. Yeah. Yeah, it depends who's running the gym. Like, the gym I'm at is quite cool. Like, they play quite cool music. It's not, they all play like generic pop music or the radio. But sometimes this is a bit heavy for me. It's a bit like, oh, it's a bit annoying. But, you know, you can't choose everything. It's quite subjective, isn't it, music, you know? Like, some people are on the cardio machines, in which case, yeah, you're going to listen to something with a beat, I guess. Nicole, you got a question. Hi, Nicole. I didn't get to properly ask my question yesterday because of internet issues. I'm 35 and have been carnivore for almost a year. Would I benefit from carb cycling? Not peri-menopausal yet.
Oh yeah, that was from that was from our Halloween stream from yesterday.
That's good.
Yeah. If you're feeling optimal, then truly, stay the course. But if I would say, like, try upping your fat first, messing with the, protein to fat ratio first, and making sure you're eating enough in general. And if all that fails and you're still not feeling optimal, then it wouldn't hurt adding something like berries or an avocado or, minimal carb in to see if that helps. But I would mess with your fat intake, your protein to fat ratio first. As well as your portions first, but it wouldn't hurt to give it a shot, though.
Yeah, well said. What do you guys think?
Sorry, I'm just taking notes based on what Nicole said.
I love
Running
it.
the
Don't
coattail
write me
still.
hate comments.
No, I'm like legit. Why is that funny?
For those that weren't listening, Nicole said you want to increase your carbohydrates first thing in the morning, middle of the day, and at night. Then if that doesn't hit the spot, have an extra bar of chocolate between as a snack.
and for those who because people hear Jonathan but they don't hear me, what I also said is I highly recommend you go upwards of 300 grams of carbs a day. So make sure you hit that 300 gram mark and you be feeling like butter.
If not, go over it. Go above and beyond.
Go way over.
Way over it. Fine. Fuck it.
And if that doesn't work, double it. Don't worry about 50 grams extra, just double it, 600 straight away.
Just eat all
Off the
carb.
bat.
Do you know what? Just don't even count it. Don't track it. Don't pay attention to what you're eating. Just eat what your heart desires, what society says. Bugger it.
I mean, I wouldn't stop at one piece of cake. I would incorporate cake.
So the sugar has more implementation, more effectivity because you're loading it with the fat. So the fat and the sugar separate. You get a double effect.
Yeah, you get double the energy.
Yeah.
Double.
And I read somewhere that if you don't cut it, it's only one piece. So if you just take a fork straight to that cake, you haven't cut it. So it's only one piece. That's what I read.
Well, I stop at 300 just because the carb, you're the carb.
I recommend 1 gram of carb per 2 times your body weight. In pounds.
Now you've got to get the maths out. Jerome, get your calculator.
Well, that's a pretty simple calculation.
Is it? Good. I will always double check it on my calculator.
But Bonnet, I hope that truly helped in all seriousness. Mess with your protein to fat ratio first. Make sure you're eating enough in general, making sure you're eating enough fat. And if you're still, sluggish, lethargic, sleeping like crap and all those other things, it wouldn't hurt to add minimal carbs. I'm still under 50 grams. I try not to go over 50. So I stay between 20 and 50. So it's a small cycle. There are people who go higher. There are people who do go 100 and 150. I just personally don't go that high.
Is there a time of day that if someone's going to add them back in, that you think is a little bit more beneficial, either first thing in the morning?
So she's talking. So we're talking carb cycling around your cycle. So more so your late 30s, early 40s, when your estrogen, progesterone, and all that really start to tank. Especially at the beginning of your cycle. So I'm closer to 50 a week or so before I start to bleed, and then after that I drop it back down to 20 or less. But yeah, it's specifically around your cycle to help with the hormonal balance.
Okay. I know nothing of value about women, so I feel like I'm really getting some good information here.
I'm still learning.
Sexist.
Yeah, I'm still learning, but it has to do with your leptin response. So obviously carbs produce more of a leptin response. So like if your estrogen levels are in a tank and consuming high fat doesn't bring your levels up high enough, it wouldn't hurt to try adding some carbs to bring things up a bit more to a more normal level, because that's where women differ. Some people's hormones tank more than others and fluctuate more than others. So it just depends. But that's supposedly the mechanism. I'm still learning. I'm still doing research or whatever, but that's what I've uncovered so far. And so far it's been working for me. But I don't go crazy with my carb cycling. I stay between 20 and 50.
Gotcha.
And what would you say to somebody who doesn't know their women's cycle? Like if because there's probably quite a few women who are irregular, who are on contraception and don't bleed. So then if they wanted to do it, how would they, if they don't actually know when they bleed?
There's an app for that. That I use an app, but I'm irregular too because I'm pushing perimenopause. So I've been irregular for months and months and months, but in general, it's usually 27, 28 days for a normal cycle. So that's kind of what I base mine on. If I'm like a week before I bleed and I'm late, then okay, so it's a week and a half or whatever. You just do the best you can on estimating. But there's plenty of apps for that. I don't want to bore Jonathan and Jerome for that, but there are app trackers I use. That's pretty accurate.
I wasn't asking for me. I was just asking in general, because I'm sure there's women listening to this that are like, well, I don't know when I ovulate. I don't know when, because some people don't. Some people are that irregular that they've always been it. Like my friend, she's always been irregular. I think she said she's gone like she'll bleed for a week, she'll be not for like 2 days, then she'll be back on for 5 days, and it's all over the place.
That's where it might help with the carbs. That's where it might help, because that's not normal, and that's a hormonal imbalance. So that's where experimentation might come into play, and that might help with that. But yeah, her hormones are of course definitely tanked and not balanced. If she's that irregular, there's something going on with her hormones that's worth either testing or experimenting, like blood work or experimenting.
Yeah. And that's what women have to go through, boys. So count your fucking blessings. You just have to deal with this.
No.
Yes.
Joe, do you have any comments on
your topic we've had?
No, I mean, like I said, I was taking notes because I know Jonathan and I work primarily with men, or at least I do, over the phone.
Sexist.
But no, but the more information I can have, and the more we're here as carnivores and as coaches to answer questions, but we're also here to learn from each other's knowledge base, right? So I'm just happy to get some insight that I don't have.
I just love the fact you take note. I love it. With his little notepad and pen. It's fantastic. Oh, it's literally a little one. Oh, how cute. It's the Disney.
It's not that little.
Average, is it? Average. Okay.
Yes, sufficient leptin signaling is associated with appropriate hormonal production regards to progesterone. And if there is not sufficient progesterone, the uterine lining will not do its job and allow things to flow properly. So by raising circulating leptin, which you'll have a great deal of difficulty trying to measure or track that, you're going to do that through increasing food intake, or getting the right sunlight exposure, or increasing carbohydrate, or just raising glucose. So there's like Nicole kind of said, there's a step-by-step way to do it. So you increase the protein amount, which will provide you some insulin signaling and help increase leptin. If you're chronically stressed, that will also affect it as well. Hence why people that are stressed, diseased, anorexic, underweight, high cortisol, they can't reproduce. The hormones don't work effectively. There's like a step-by-step way to do it. So, look at protein, look at your overall energy intake, look at your stress levels. If you've been chronically under-eating or dieting forever, it might not be that you have to do these things. It might just be you have to address your stress levels. What else is there?
Through the roof is what they are.
If not, just go nuts and honey and fruit and just see what happens.
Cheesecake.
Cake. Yeah. There's not a lot of science on it. I looked, so Nicole and I spoke about it, and I looked up as well, just as much as she probably did. And there's not a lot of science. So it is speculation, it is anecdote, it is trial and error.
There's not a lot of science on women's
story.
hormonal health and women's health in general. It's unfortunate. It's crappy if you look up women's hormonal health, especially as you're entering perimenopause and beyond. There's not a lot out there at all, which is unfortunate. And the things that are out there, it's a lot are saying the same things, but then others say it a different way, and there's some conflicting information out there. So it's really difficult when it comes to our hormones, because there's not a lot of information out there at all.
Would you say that women's health is less important than men's in that case?
Yes. No, I mean, all of the scientists and all that, it's unfortunate because a lot of the scientists, researchers are men, and they lump us all in the same bucket. But women, we truly are different. We truly do have different hormones and different physiology. We function differently. We're more hormonal. Our cycle's 28 days. Men is not. And unfortunately, they just lumped us all in the same bucket. And they should have separated us out for certain things. But yeah, I think that's part of the problem. And we have Mindy Pelz and there's other women, female doctors talking about this as well. So there are some influencers talking about this, but there's not a lot talking about this. And, Mindy Pelz could be speculating based off her experience as well. So it's kind of just trial and error and just see what works.
Question: is Mindy Pelz a reliable source of information?
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about her, but I don't see why she would be any less reliable than a Sean Baker or anything like that, because she specifically focuses on women's health and hormones. So I don't see why she would be any less reliable than any of the other, male counterpart doctors out there, in my opinion.
I don't know who she is.
Just wondered, really.
Yeah.
We have 3 questions. I dislocated my knee in May. I am doing much better, but I would like to implement some exercise. Any exercise I can implement, my knee could dislocate again easily, unfortunately. This is right up your rooms, Ali. So, Joe, do you want to talk about this quickly before you have to pop off?
Yeah, so I have a client that is prone to dislocating their patella on their knee, their kneecap. So what I do with this particular individual is we do just isometric work, leg extension, leg curl, and we'll do some dynamic exercise, dynamic meaning with movement, really smooth, really slow controlled calf raises. Really, anytime there's an injury, you want to identify positions in the range of movement that you're either more susceptible to risk, or positions in the range of movement that feel more or less comfortable or not comfortable. So if you notice as you're extending your leg that when your leg is almost fully straight or when your leg is fairly bent, that maybe you feel like you have a little bit less stability in the knee, you don't want to exercise with resistance, or at least significant resistance in that particular portion. So I have a number of videos covering time static contraction protocol. If you're not familiar with it, I would recommend looking it up either on my channel or just hopping on YouTube looking for timed static contraction. Essentially, it's isometric exercise, no movement, gradually increasing your effort. And it's a very safe and effective way to build strength in the respective joint. But thinking about the knee, I mean, really, the knee is just a hinge joint. It just has flexion and extension depending on whether you're contracting your quads, your hamstrings, or your gastrocnemius. So as long as you're safely addressing those functions, you're going to strengthen the tendons that innervate the knee about as good as you can. So feel free to reach out to me in person if you want any more details on that.
Jerome is an example of someone with a reputable source of information. He has
Some
experience
things.
and practice in this field with a degree in walking.
Yep.
Sophie and Nicole, you've probably had a bit of knee pain before. How would you deal with it?
Don't push it. If it hurts,
Don't
stop.
push it. There you go, Nicole, you'll go.
Okay. Sophie. So I've had reconstructive knee surgery. I've had multiple knee surgeries on the same knee, and I actually didn't do leg extensions or any of that stuff. I strengthened around it, so my core, my glutes, my quads, and those sorts of things. So I actually, because if you say, for instance, you have plantar fasciitis, it's not necessarily your foot, it's possibly your calves. So they recommend doing calf work, and that's the same with the knee. Just in my experience with being injured, the knee is, like Jerome said, just the joint. So when I went through physical therapy and all that stuff, I actually I didn't work the knee specifically. I strengthened my core, my glutes, my quads, made sure my hips were in alignment and all that. And by default, that helped my my knee strength. So that's kind of how I went about it. So I think I mentioned this on the last stream. One of the popular exercises I did in PT was taking like a resistance band around my feet and getting into like a half squat and sidestepping and all that stuff. So I did a lot of that. I did a lot of around my knees, sitting down and doing hip hinges and stuff like that. So that's a type of work I did to strengthen my knee. So I didn't work the knee specifically. I worked those other areas.
Cool. Yeah, I think you guys hit it on the head. Don't go too nuts. Use your active range of motion. Don't do things that hurt. Try time static contraction. What I'll probably add is don't find ways to train which are contraindicated. So don't then say, well, I can't bend my knee all the way, so I'm going to do sprinting. That's a bad idea. That's going to lead to more shearing force of the joint. A lot of people add in knee sleeves, knee pads, wraps. I'm not an advocate of those at all. I think they should only be used in contest in powerlifting if you're allowed to use them. I would not use anything like that. Just get your natural movements nailed down, stimulate blood flow, light activity, build up the musculature around it. Try not to be too crazy.
The last thing I would add is you probably want to avoid the extreme positions in the range of movement about the knee. So you don't want to fully extend your leg or probably even approach the last 10, maybe 15 degrees of knee extension. And same with being in a position of full flexion. You kind of want to avoid that too. And I have no problem with anything Nicole said. Those are all fantastic movements. It's just unfortunately in recommending general guidelines, those are things that are best done under the supervision of a qualified PT. Because all of those things do matter. And if, hip stability is off, or if your posture is off, that's going to affect the relative pressure about the knee, just maintaining your basic posturing. And I'm glad Nicole brought those up, but those are things that you would have to discuss in detail with a qualified professional.
Excellent advice.
Thanks for doing the hard work, Nicole.
Jeremy, you can stay on. Nicole, you can stay on for another.
You're the one with
segment.
the degree in walking. That's all you got, Jerome?
The joke's on everybody. It's
done that.
It's in Christopher Walken.
Oh, jeez. Americans. I'm trying to find a question. Oh, here we go. Thanks for shout out. Yeah, so follow or subscribe to the Baroness of Beef on YouTube. Not too bad of a channel. Has a couple of videos, quite entertaining sometimes. Good sense of humor. Talks about carnivore diet and stuff. I'm not collaborating with her again until she is a professional bodybuilder.
Or really runs through walls.
Or runs through walls. There we go.
Susie.
Hey, Renee. Hey, Lamps as well. Hey,
Renee.
Lamps. We've been entertaining, apparently.
Aren't we always? Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Absolutely
Sophie,
not
what do you
ready.
think of zone 2 cardio for fat burning?
I don't know what it is.
Having a jog.
I don't do cardio, so
Forget it. So,
No.
Susie, the answers don't do it.
don't do it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy doing cardio. Just do strength training.
Nicole, what do you think towards zone 2 cardio for fat burning?
That's what is that, like 60-70% something of your heart rate, something like that? Yeah, I don't
Like 130 to 160-ish, 150-ish.
yeah, I used to run half marathons and do all that stuff, and again, bad knees and hips and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, now I just walk on the treadmill at an incline and weight lift. So I don't do any jogging or any of that stuff anymore unless I'm being chased. I'm not chased very often. I just want to throw that out there.
Good.
Jerome, zone 2
Yeah.
cardio.
I would just point out that Jonathan has a great video with Bart K talking about zone 2 cardio and left ventricular hypertrophy. So this has been answered far better than I could answer on Jonathan's channel. So I would just direct to that video.
Yeah, watch that one. It's called The Deadliest Form of Cardio or something like that with Bart K. The other video that I've made is The Cardio Paradox. I think it's got like a picture on the thumbnail of like a heart or something. I don't know. But that pretty much explains it quite well. It seems to be a big stress to the body for what you get out of it. I'd much rather see someone put that effort towards just resistance training. And if you can do zone 2 cardio after resistance training effectively, I'll probably say you need to train a bit harder if you can safely. I'd rather see someone do that, to be honest. And a lot of the benefits you'll get in terms of like the bone density, the fat loss, the strength, the muscular strength, hypertrophy you'll get from doing like half an hour in the gym a week. Like anything extra doesn't seem to indicate that you'll get a better health outcomes or results in longevity. I believe it is associative, but something like, I think the cutoff in terms of what was beneficial in terms of reducing, well, the association of mortality was reduced by about 20% if you stick around about the 1.5 hour activity per week in terms of exercise. The cutoff seems to be about 3 or 4 hours. And obviously, if you're spending an hour in the gym doing cardio, you then dig into that time where you could be doing weight training. So for most people, unless they're like pre-contest and, you know, it's Hail Mary trying to lose body fat just to get on stage at the last minute, yeah, stay below 4 hours of exercise per week in terms of like workouts, fitness training, cardio. That's my recommendation. I don't think there's any need to go above and beyond that, personally. And there seems to be a correlation between having beyond 4 hours and with a 10% higher degree of mortality. Associative, but you know, what can you do? It's definitely a cut-off, I think, where you start to get backwards in terms of your health. Wear and tear on the joints and stuff as well. Nicole, what's your favorite exercise for tricep that allows very good contraction? I try tricep rope pull down, push down, but ideally you want the arm to swing behind your back for optimal tricep contraction. Ooh, we like this one. Jerome, we like this one. Nicole, what would you do?
I mean, I do pretty much what Mike does. I don't do anything special for this. I'll do push-ups and stuff, but yeah, I just do exactly the pull down and all that stuff. So yeah.
Sophie, what about you? What's your favorite tricep exercise?
I like
Besides
the
getting out of bed.
overhead dumbbell tricep extension.
Yeah, you're good at that one. Yeah, that's that one, isn't it?
Yeah, when you're holding it behind that way.
Yeah, I can't do that.
With the dumbbell.
Yeah, you got a better balance than me.
Yep.
I think you don't.
Forward.
Yeah, I mean, I like movements where you can brace yourself nicely. I think sometimes if you're doing like an overhead and you're standing up, you see people in the gym all the time. They're standing up. They got like one dumbbell here and they're just going all over the shop. They can't balance the spine. put your back against a bench. Stand up if you have to. Put your feet behind the feet of the bench so you're still, so the wedge doesn't move. That's if you want to get movement. I think you probably get most of the benefit from doing a very simple, comfortable grip tricep push down in the mid-range. You don't necessarily have to go to the full end and start ranges of the movement to get maximum muscular hypertrophy. The argument is you'll get more mobility, flexibility benefit from doing that. But all I'd say is, how often do you worry about going like that behind your head or that behind your back in terms of your tricep movement or recruitment? It's very unlikely. It doesn't really happen in nature. If you have to push a car, it's quite mid-range based, so I wouldn't focus too much about it. If I wanted to be more particular, if I wanted to get maximum tricep development, like eke out every percentage, I'd probably start with a bench dip. So a dip with your hands behind your back using a bench. You can add a weight plate to your lap as well if you want to increase resistance. Then I'd go to an overhead cable extension, ideally leaning with my back against a pad, a bench, just so I can brace myself. Then I'll probably go towards a push down, mid-range, whatever grip feels comfortable to you. The ropes can be a bit funny on your wrist sometimes, so you might choose something like a V bar, or you might use a EZ bar, like a cambered cable bar. But they're all pretty effective. What my mainstay is at the moment is a mid-range push down with a comfortable grip. Then I often do an isometric contraction just in that mid-range, just hold it for as long as I can. So that's basically me. What do you do, Jerome? I mean, Jerome, your training's a lot more simplified than mine, especially if you've actually got triceps. So what do you do?
So normally I do an isometric tricep extension about halfway through the range of movement for the triceps. But the triceps essentially have two primary functions. We have elbow extension, right? And then we have, so this would be shoulder flexion. The triceps also function in shoulder extension, which helps bring the arm down. So you may have seen an article online, it's been going around quite a bit, that overhead tricep extensions work the long head of the tricep 40% more or provide 40% more growth. And the reason for that is you're putting the long head in a position of passive insufficiency, to where if your arm is fully straight and your arms are almost behind you trying to get that full contraction, you're in a position of active insufficiency. And you have better cross bridging between the actin and myosin filaments in passive insufficiency than you do active insufficiency. So really, to ideally work the triceps, you want to have about halfway through the range of movement in elbow extension and about halfway through the range of movement between flexion and extension. So that's going to be right around that midpoint in a tricep pushdown, where most people start the movement. That's where you're biomechanically the strongest. Now, whether or not your resistance profile from your equipment actually comports to that is a different story. But if I were to pick a couple of different exercises, I would do like a rope or a cable overhead extension, but I would lean forward quite a bit. And in leaning forward, you can change the resistance profile just a little bit. And then I would probably pair that with just a basic straight bar or V bar tricep pushdown. In trying to get a really full contraction, and I know a lot of people love the rope for triceps because you really feel that, but you're getting a bit of a cramping sensation in your triceps because of active insufficiency. It's not that it's necessarily a better movement. In a lot of ways, it's a little bit worse. So just try and think about what's roughly the midpoint for the muscle group that I'm trying to work, and have most of your resistance around the midpoint. So slightly leaning forward, tricep extension overhead, basic tricep push down with straight bar, V bar. It's about as good as it gets. But even picking more ideal exercises, the difference between a good tricep exercise and a bad tricep exercise is far less important than how you actually execute it. So if your intensity is sufficiently high, maintain a good form to keep the tension on the muscles that you're trying to work, that's far more important than whatever exercise. So in general, I just tell people, whatever feels like a good movement that's hitting your triceps hard, just do that.
That's solid advice. Yeah. What Jerome's basically saying about like the overhead stuff is, because the triceps in a more stretched position, it's behind your head. Your elbows behind you, your hands behind your head. That allows the muscle fibers to lengthen more, basically. So you get more muscular damage. So that has potentially a higher degree of muscle damage, which can translate to more muscle growth. So he's saying, if you're going to pick one, probably pick the mid-range, because that will do most of it. Then if you want to pick a second one, do the behind the head stuff. And
Mhm.
if we look at the size of the tricep, the long head, which can be activated through the overhead stuff, that's going to give you the largest bulk of muscle mass to your triceps, which seems to make sense. And the cramping thing, I've experienced myself, the right push down. I've been doing that forever, and my triceps haven't got much bigger. So,
Mhm.
you know, but as soon as I added the overhead stuff, I seem to get benefit. So it makes sense.
I've got to bounce, but I just want to thank everybody for your time. Nicole,
thank you for
Sophie, it
coming.
was good to see you guys.
See ya, Jerome.
Good to see you too, Jerome.
Cheers, Jerome. He's gone forever.
Until next
Good.
week.
That's
Now
it.
we can really talk.
I can talk about the good stuff. Carnivore Truckers here. Nice to see you.
What's up, Sean?
And we've got Ellie. So why stop at 300 grams? Just become the carb. You're the carb. Yes. The famous 4 in the house, apparently.
Ooh, ooh.
Well, I feel like it's
There we
been
go.
ages since I've been on here.
Yeah, it's been a bit. Yeah. I'm a new viewer. Hi. How do you all eat? I'm on day 181 of Carnivore.
Oh boy.
Oh, jeez.
Sophie, you go.
Sophie just eats Freddo chocolate bars and dairy milk.
I just eat cake.
Sophie, what do you eat at the moment?
I eat what I want to eat, but just try
That's
and try and get as much protein in as I can. I don't track. I haven't tracked for about a month now.
Your animal based light.
Yeah, I'm still predominantly animal based, but I will add in whatever I want to have, but just not taking the piss. Because I'm trying
Sounds
to
right.
build a better relationship with food, because my mental state didn't get very good.
Too strict.
Yeah, I think so.
I created a fantastic video today which addressed adherence to the carnivore diet, the problems with the carnivore diet, if any, and the biases people have towards certain food. So that'd be quite useful for one for you guys to watch. So I do actually mention Sophie in this in like an anecdotal kind of way. So that'd be useful for people to see, I think.
I need to watch that then. See what you said.
Yeah, I might let you watch it.
Yeah.
What about you, Nicole? What do you eat? Just fruit and honey, or?
I eat ice cream cake, coffee cake, all the cake. As much as I
Carrot
want.
cake?
Yeah, I just
Must
binge.
put your legs.
Yeah, sometimes I'll add ice cream a la mode.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah.
No, I'm predominantly animal based, so I predominantly triple B and E. Today I had a steak and a little bit of strawberries, like 4 strawberries. I counted them out for breakfast. And then tonight I had 3 Italian meatballs, sausage, and some eggs. And I'm not sure if I'm going to eat again after this. Right now I'm not hungry, but yeah, I'm predominantly beef, eggs, bacon. Sometimes I'll mix it up and have like some sausage or some meatballs to mix it up a bit. But I do eat carb. I would say I'm probably 85, sometimes 90% animal based, and the rest carb.
Nice. So I'll probably say I'm about 97-98% carnivore. If you worked out my macronutrient values, divided it by over a month or a set period of time, for me that equates to 2 meals per month, which are off plan. They're usually pretty sensible, sometimes a bit less sensible. So a less sensible meal would be, I don't know. I don't even know. So if you watched like recent fried chicken,
Yeah.
I had fried chicken. So it'll always be meat. Like meat is the key. Like meat based. It might be like in
roast dinner,
breadcrumb or something.
The other
Roast
day,
dinner,
A little bit
yesterday, I
of
think.
eggs, a little bit of potato.
Yeah,
Mm.
not too bad.
No.
I just don't go as much as I used to. So I've actually been better at moderating. So 2 meals per month out of 120, 130. It's not the biggest deal. Other than that, my main meals, I don't know. Every animal food you can think of, probably, apart from testicles. So that's pretty much it for me. Not that special. I eat a lot of food at the moment because I'm trying to gain muscle. Trying to gain muscle on the carnivore diet. In case you didn't realise. That's about it. Nothing too incredible, but I do need to do a day of eating video at some point, so I might do that soon when I'm back at Sophie's. It'll be very bland, very boring. It'll be like egg,
Yeah.
parmesan,
Egg and cheese
protein
for
powder,
breakfast.
butter bite, salmon,
Mhm.
burgers,
I can
cheese, egg.
I can probably guess your daily meal when you do that video. I could probably guess it now.
Yeah,
It's like a lot of
it was
people
the same.
post their food on Instagram, and I don't post a lot because literally I just buy steak. Like literally buy hamburger patties. I have the, brisket chuck blend hamburger patties I bought today. So I buy steak hamburger patties. I just mixed it up today and I bought some sausage and some Italian meatballs and whatnot. But usually I just buy steak, hamburger patties, eggs. And that's pretty much all I eat. So if you go to my Instagram page, it's literally every single meal you'll see is usually hamburger patties, steak, or eggs. It's pretty boring.
Well, I've seen some strawberries on there and some blueberries.
Yeah. I said I had strawberries
Yeah.
today. Yeah. I'm minimal
Yeah.
carb, but yeah, the bulk of
Yeah,
my
I just
food though
classic
is
colour.
predominantly,
Meat, eggs.
hamburger patties, steak, and eggs
Yeah.
with some blueberries sprinkled in.
Yeah, just to jazz it up.
Yeah, I don't really do fruit at all. I think
No.
for me, I don't know, risk benefit. I'm better off having a bag of Skittles or something. I don't enjoy them that much that I really care for it, so I just don't bother. Got a question from Jay Ducky. How long does it take to get back into ketosis? Had almost 300 grams of carbs. Honestly, how long is a piece of string? Would I worry about ketosis? No. Would I worry about getting back to the carnivore diet or ketogenic diet as soon as possible? Yes, absolutely. Just make sure your next meal, next feeding, next snack, whatever, is on point. And don't worry about it. There's nothing you can do to expedite that process if that's what you're concerned about. Just get back on it.
Your body doesn't know numbers. It doesn't know all that stuff. So, and I've never known if I've been in or out of ketosis. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo.
I feel horrendous if I'm in deep ketosis, so I don't do it. I seem to have a cutoff of protein where if I go below about 200 grams, and I obviously have high ketones at that amount, I'd imagine, I don't feel great at all. So for me, it's not a nice feeling.
Yeah. I always say keto's your home. And even if you deviate from your home, as long as you go back home, it's okay. But yeah, my goal isn't to, stay in ketosis or be in ketosis. I just make sure I'm eating all the beef, all the steak, all the fat, and I'm good. I don't track ketones or any of that stuff. I don't even track macros. I just stay within the triple B and E realm. But yeah, like Jonathan says, if your goal is to stay in ketosis, I don't know I would stay in ketosis like long term, just me personally. But yeah, if you deviate from home every once in a while, I call that life. I call that living. You're not going to be perfect the rest of your life, or the vast majority of people, the royal you, are not going to be perfect the vast majority of their life. But as long as you go back home, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Chad's in the house, apparently. Nice to see you, Chad. Thank you for joining. Unfortunately, he's joining through your stream, Nicole.
I have a lot of people join from my stream, yeah.
Yeah, mine's not very popular today. It's very upsetting.
I mean, I've had a mass exodus, but apparently not everyone left me.
Yeah, the loyalists have stuck in. Yeah, I can't see any questions. I'm looking desperately for questions.
I don't know, but Ellie says she likes cakeivores.
Yeah.
I made you a carnivore cake, didn't I, Jonathan? To your birthday.
That's delicious.
Lee's in the house, chiming in from the
Good old
UK.
Lee, you have to respond to my email I sent you like a month ago. It's completely outdated and irrelevant at this point in time, but I don't know. Maybe respond to it might be good.
Check your junk.
Check your junk. Check your spam folder. Bob's here. Nice to see you, Bob. Thank you for joining. What else do I need to do? Honestly, guys, if you're asking questions, please put a queue. I can't see any questions.
Because you have those glasses on.
Yeah, but I need it for the health and for the appearance. It's part of my aesthetic for Halloween, pre-Halloween partying.
Yeah.
Reverse grip pushdowns. I'd forget them altogether. I'd put them in a bin. pile them off, get rid of them. Wouldn't do them again. Waste of time. Greater risk to your wrists. Inappropriate positioning of your shoulders. Unsafe. Less effective than any other tricep extension. I'd avoid. Strongly avoid. V-bar pushdowns I can get behind, of course. I quite like a machine or maybe like something where you can get like a bar and it has different nodules on it. So you can actually change the width of the handles, the pushdown handles. So if you can get one of those, it's quite good. Or you can get cable crossovers and just kick them back sort of thing. That's quite effective as well. The rope's not too bad. But yeah, you're looking basically like a V-bar pushdown or just a straight bar, whatever you like, whatever's easiest on your wrist. But I'd absolutely forget about the reverse grip pushdowns. That's one I always see people doing. I think there's no point to doing it. It doesn't work that effectively. Hey, I'm trying to compete in strongman. I'm doing 20 minutes going to 3 cardio every day and 2+ hours. 2+
2+ hour
work every other day. So he's training 3.5, 7 hours a week plus 27, 140. 9 hours of exercise a week. You're doing too much. Even if you're doing powerlifting, you're doing too much. I wouldn't be asking questions about milk personally. I'll be addressing the training itself. I know you've asked about milk, but you've not left a queue, so I can't really ask the question. A litre of whole milk is fine. It works out to like 45, 50 grams of carbohydrates a day. Obviously, the more you have, the more risk you have of diabetes. But if you're doing that much activity, which is extremely extreme, I'd probably look at reducing that so you wouldn't have to drink that much milk each day personally. What do you guys think?
I'm not a fan of milk in general.
Peeing all day, jeez, it's a lot of milk.
Yeah, I know a guy, an Italian dude. He was like, I drink 2 liters of raw milk a day, and I was like, 2 liters is in like a big bottle or 2 small. He's like, yeah, and I was like, all right, what else do you drink? Oh, I drink like 8 coffees a day. I'm like, how do you drink so much?
Yeah, I could drink 8 coffees, no problem.
Yeah,
no problem there. But not the whole litre of milk. It's a lot. I'd be peeing all day. Don't know about you, Nicole. What?
yeah. My only real objection is I would train much less. Honestly, I speak from experience. I used to train 15 to 20 hours a week. I didn't perform any better for it. There's diminishing returns. I appreciate in strongman, obviously you're not doing resistance training. It's like you're doing set. You like set, stare at the girl in the corner for about 20 minutes, then get back to it. I know a lot of people do that. But yes, that's a long time to spend in the gym. A long time. Milk, a litre a day. I don't know, too much. It's like one of those things like how long's a piece of string? You can do it. It won't kill you. If it gets you some more food in that you need, Yeah,
if you're still reaching your goals and you feel fine drinking that much, crack on.
Yeah.
I know that it'd sit too heavy in my stomach if I had that much milk a day, but that's just my stomach personally. And like Nicole said, she doesn't like milk, so she wouldn't be able to drink that much.
Yeah. Good question here from Ben. How many rest pause sets with free weights? I think, Nicole, what do you think about that? So I think he's asking if you're say training 3 or 4 times a week and you're doing free weights for your workouts, how many of those sets would you include a rest pause set? Would it be every set or every last set of an exercise, or
What's the rest pause set like when you go down, stop, and then go up?
Yes, you do the set. That. So for example, you do bench press, I don't know, 10 reps. You could do 12 maybe, but you rest at 10. Then you might count your head 10 seconds, then do 3 more, rest 10 seconds, 3 more, something like that. That's what rest pause set is.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
What about you, Sophie?
I don't gym anymore, but when I did gym, I'd say kind of, I don't know, it depends how many sets you're doing per like body part. Like I know like Jerome does like 1 set per body part. I'm trying to think. I think I did about 2 to 3 depending on how long I had. So maybe do 1 of your sets as a rest pause if you're only doing one set, then maybe don't do it for every single thing. Maybe just pick some. But I guess it just depends on what you feel comfortable with and what you feel safe with and like able to do. There's no point saying, I'm going to do it for everything, and then you just can't do it. Yeah, safety is kind of paramount, and as long as you're going to keep progressing how you want, then do whatever feels comfortable, really.
Yeah, you touched on a good point. It depends on your overall recovery capacity and training volume. If someone's doing 30 sets a week for chest, I'd probably be looking at doing less than 30 sets per week for chest, because that is quite clearly too much. If someone's doing 1 set per week for chest and they're not getting results, can you take that 1 set to a great degree of failure, let a high level of intensity? Can you do a rest pause set then? Yeah. Personally, the way I'd probably do it, knowing about what I know about Ben on a personal level, is if I was doing 2 body parts per session, for example, or 3, I would do 1 rest pause set on the last exercise per body part for 1 set. So if you're doing incline chest press, decline chest press, I don't know, the decline press chest press, which you did second, I would do the last set of that, and I'll do a rest pause set of that. That's the way I'd do it. I wouldn't do chest press, rest pause set on the chest press, then shoulder press, then push-ups, then do it rest pause again. I would just do it once per body part. That's how much I would do it. I think if you're doing it more than that, you're just digging too deep into that recovery capacity, and you wouldn't be able to develop and adapt from it, I don't think.
You got to be able to.
That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. I don't really know what I'm talking about.
No, you haven't got Scooby-Doo, what you're talking about, really.
It's mostly anecdotal, to be honest. I don't really have any evidence to support that claim. But if you ask a lot of people, they probably say the same thing. The last set of the body part you're training, rest pause set, if you can recover from it. Have I got more questions? Oh, no. I need Jerome here to sort it out for me. I completely messed
you
this
have
up.
more questions.
Oh, okay.
I can't see the chat, so.
Right under that. Jason.
Oh, no. Okay, thanks. Yeah. Okay, got it. Cheers. Hey, Jonathan, anybody ever asked you about the whole golden age bodybuilding? Finch drew under eating a bunch of raw eggs diet. I feel like drinking eggs would be less filling. That's a good question. Vince Dronda always cooked his eggs, but for some reason people propagate the idea that he didn't. So I don't know. Whenever I've read articles about it in his own writings himself, he cooked raw eggs. Now, since the days of, I think it's Sylvester Stallone in like the Rocky movies, that's when they started to incorporate more raw eggs. So it'd have like orange juice mixed with raw eggs, mixed with milk, weird combinations. It'd have all that together, and that's how they'd get the nutrition in. Mainly for time. Yeah, I don't think it's... The way I go about it personally is egg whites, cook. Egg yolks, don't cook or cook. I would always personally cook the egg whites because the risk of digestion issues is much higher with raw egg whites. There's things like iodine in it, which can reduce the nutrient uptake in regards to biotin. I think that's vitamin B7, I think. And also it just doesn't digest that well. I've never met anyone digest raw egg white better than cooked egg white. And it's also more palatable to have cooked egg white, personally. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
That's why I think
Nicole's not into it.
Nope.
No. I'd put a raw egg in like a shake when I've made his anabolic protein shake. I've cracked an egg into that, blitzed it up, you know, with like ice, protein powder, a bit of milk, all that stuff. So you can't taste it, it just makes it creamy. But I could not crack an egg into a glass or mix it with orange juice and milk. That sounds like a pregnant woman's fucking concoction. No. It honestly makes you want to heave the thought of it. Like, you couldn't pay me enough to drink raw egg. I mean, feel free to put a number on it and we'll see. But no.
$1 million.
Fucking yes.
You
I'll
need
kill
that as a
someone.
bonus. $1 million.
I'll convert it to pounds. Don't care.
You just said that with the English accent, an American accent.
I would do it. Someone
She's
pay
like,
me
I
that.
would do it.
I'll do it for $1 million. Yeah, okay. I'll just puke afterwards. It's fine.
Right, how do I operate this thing? Are there more questions?
Yeah, there's more questions. Jonathan, take your glasses off.
Come on, get with it, because I don't want to be on this.
What they need to do is they need to make this system. They need to make a system like black and white or something so I can actually see it.
Jeannie,
sick of looking at
has
white
a
screens all
question
day.
at 4:12 p.m., which I think is 8:12 p.m. your time. Running tap.
Maybe just get Nicole to do it then. I don't want to do.
She can't press the buttons.
I
No.
can't push buttons.
Yeah. I think I have to add as an account to my thing, but the risk of doing that is I can go live on her thing at any time I want.
Oh, maybe don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be okay.
Jerome and I
with
can
that.
do the same, so I can put stuff on Jerome's stuff anytime I want. Do you get kids knocking on the door?
No.
No, it's not Halloween yet.
So we've got like a rule over here. So generally people stick to it. So if you turn off your kitchen window at the front of the house, assuming that's where your front of the house is, turn your hallway light off, people won't come in and knock your door. If you've got a candle or a pumpkin outside or any kind of decoration, they'll knock. That's the general rule of thumb over here. So it's like an etiquette kind of thing. Generally, people don't do it much.
If they have a blue pumpkin, I think it's like, is it like disabled, not disabled person, but like elderly or vulnerable? So
old.
Yeah, be a bit. Well, not just old, but it could be like mentally disabled or something, or just very anxious and quite vulnerable. So it's don't be a dickhead basically to the blue pumpkins. But thankfully mine looks like the garden gate, so no one knocks on my door.
Yeah, we don't get any.
I
think if one year, I think Mum and Mike were on holiday, and it's just me in the house with the dog or something. So I just went into the cupboard and just found some chocolate. I didn't know what. I think I found biscuits or something. I just grabbed it. I don't know what they got. I just got the tin and said, pick something. I don't care. Bugger off. Basically.
Yeah, you don't bother with it.
No, too old. I'd like to go trick-or-treating, but I don't have a costume. Sophie wouldn't let me buy one.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. I no longer see the question. Jonathan says it's not a question. Show the guns. Sophie?
Oh, hang on. That's all you got today.
Side bicep.
That'll do.
All right.
There you go.
Pathetic, honestly. Mine's so much better.
Mine haven't grown in like 10 years.
No, exactly. Rubbish.
Yeah. Bob's got a question. I've been using a heavy chair with arms to push myself up off a chair. Is this a safe exercise or would you suggest something else? It depends. I mean, I'm guessing it's like a dip. If it's a dip you're doing, Bob, what I'd probably like to see you doing is, if you've got a sofa, a couch, a settee, whatever you guys call it over there, put your hands that sort of position, but behind you, then push up and down like that. If you can keep your shoulders in the same position whilst doing that, you'll develop a lot of the back of the arms, the tricep muscles. That's a very effective exercise to do at home. And what you can also do is, say you're on your knees or something, you can face into the sofa, so where the seat is, put your hands in front of you. The wider you go, the easier it will be. Then just do like a push-up. But if you can get your hands basically further north of your body, so there rather than there, that activate more of the triceps, be more difficult. So feel free to experiment. Those sort of exercises are pretty safe as long as you don't go flat first and you're not noggin. What do you guys do? What do you guys think about like dips and push-ups off chairs and things?
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing about a sofa, the couch, even sitting on the floor and pushing yourself up off the floor. But yeah, I wouldn't trust a chair. For me, that's more so of a safety thing. I think, sticking with even a table or a couch and things like that would be a bit safer for me. I would consider that a bit more safe.
Yeah, that makes sense. Excellent.
Yeah, with his, is
Susie,
this a safe exercise? Is it working? If it's working, then yes. If you've not injured yourself and you're recovering, it's a safe exercise for you.
yeah, I think if you feel it in your arms, that's a good indicator. A lot of people we see in the gym, they'll do some pretty weird ass exercise. You think you're doing this really weird thing. If you made this like lat pull down, turn, tricep push down into one movement, so you had a pull down and a push down, so you made it into two movements, but infinitely more powerful to develop muscle tissue. So as long as you're not doing anything too crazy that just doesn't look right, then.
Yeah, and if you make a lot of noise, it really helps. It really helps activate those
Extra
muscles,
sound.
allow release zone. Yeah,
Definitely extra sound.
yeah, definitely. I've seen that firsthand.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I was quiet as a mouse.
Yeah.
Susie's got a question, which was, I was listening to Dr. Bright, and she's not a fan of caffeine. As she said, it could affect the adrenals. What do you think about caffeine in terms of gym performance? That's a good question. Caffeine does affect the adrenals. It's not that it could affect it, it does affect it. So you stimulate something called CAMP, which will artificially increase your energy levels, but the debt on your body, as opposed to letting your cortisol levels rise naturally, is much greater. So you're better off just, I don't know, fasting before a workout. That's going to increase your cortisol levels, which will in turn increase your adrenal hormones, so you can lift more, your breathing becomes better, you're more focused, more energetic, your heart rate will raise and elevate to keep up with demand. So if you're looking for improved adrenal health, I would strongly recommend avoiding it. Now, if you want something to support your adrenal health, you can take something called L-tyrosine, which is an amino acid, quite cheap. It does work similarly to caffeine, but again, it's not entirely natural. Although it is a natural protein amino acid, it will still burden your body to some extent, but to a lesser degree than caffeine. But does it work for increasing gym performance? Yes. Do most people need it? No. Not sustainable long term, and you will have to increase the dose. And the best benefit from caffeine in regards to improving exercise performance is found at, I believe, 4.4 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. So if you weighed 100 kilograms, that'd work out at about 440 milligrams of caffeine, which is a lot, which is like, over here, it's like 2.5 Red Bulls. So you get an increase, but then there's a drop off. But then obviously once you get to that dose, you have to go higher and higher, and the risk of like a heart attack is much greater. Do either of you ladies use caffeine at all when you're working out?
I used to be the gym bro with pre-workout and all that stuff. But but yeah, it's just fake energy. You're running off of adrenaline and cortisol and all that stuff. I feel like I perform better off of actual food. Actually, since going low carb, like, high fat animal based, I'm actually able to work out in the morning fasted, and my performance has improved that way. But yeah, I used to do caffeine, and I feel like my performance is actually better without it.
Fair. It can impact your hydration levels as well. And if you're someone that goes to the gym, you take a caffeine tablet and you're fasted, you're not drinking anything all day, that's a recipe for disaster. A good hydration levels will be more impactful on exercise performance than any supplement, I think, or caffeine. Yeah, well said.
I just need caffeine to get through the day, really.
Yeah. Cheeky cup of coffee.
Always.
Sweeteners, a bit of
But
milk.
on that note, before you start this question, I am going to head because it's getting late and my head is still pounding.
I'm going to stay here forever until I've answered every question.
Bye, Sophie.
We'll wrap it up quickly then. You're taking too long, Jonathan. Too slow.
All right. Allow it, fam.
Bye, Sophie.
See you in a bit. Kick her off. Yeah.
And there were two dropping like flies.
Suckers. Yeah, Leah just found out about the live stream from a while ago. Is that the one you mean? Yeah, it was about the live stream something. Also, I was deeply offended. There was a live carnivore stream So UK carnivore stream. I thought, well, that's interesting. All right. So that's probably going to have, I don't know, like
Jonathan.
Mason, Phil Escott, Ben Hunt, Olivia Qualger, Lee, Ken Carnivore, Stephen Thomas. No, didn't have any of those people. It just had Lee. So it's hardly UK carnivores. What a disgrace. Like the guy that runs that does not like me. I can firmly tell it.
Who ran that? Oh, Kerry ran that one, right?
Yeah, he doesn't like me. I don't think. He'll probably listen back to this and think, "Oh, what does he think?" It was quite obvious and apparent by how difficult it was to access the stream in the first place. The previous streams, anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, I better talk about something else now. Down the toilet, that's the job. Excellent. Please put Q if it's a question. I can't read the screen. I only saw this because there was a Q when you put Q&A. Thanks for this Q&A, guys. Do any of you supplement with iodine? Me, personally, no. Do I have a deficiency? No. Have I ever met with someone with a deficiency? No. Could it be a useful supplement for people that might have a deficiency or may benefit from using it as a, should I say, substrate or fuel to create more thyroid hormone? Yes. How do I know to test for that? I don't know. How do people often test for it? They usually put a patch of it on their skin, and if it dissolves or absorbs into the skin every period of the day, chances are you could probably benefit from more of it. That's about all there is to say on iodine. Anything you hear about iodine from anyone else about it that's different to that advice, they're talking purely out of speculation and guesswork, which is fine. I respect anecdotes, but there's not much evidence to support the claim that additional iodine within the diet outside of animal foods is beneficial to health outcomes. Nicole, what do you think?
I'm afraid to go against Jonathan. No, I'm kidding. I mean, if you're eating animal based, if you're eating fish like tuna, cod, eggs, meat, they're all good sources of iodine. So you really don't have to supplement. Most people doing a carnivore diet are eating a good amount of eggs, and eggs do have a good amount of iodine in there. So most carnivores or people animal-based, I'm going to start saying most animal-based dieters should not be deficient in iodine. So you should be fine.
Yeah, milk, eggs, fish,
dairy. Yeah.
Yeah, I only people that do the carnivore diet. The only people that I really see having real issues long term are people that are doing the lion diet for months on end. Can you sustain yourself? Yes. Is it effective? Maybe not. I don't know many people that do it.
Iodine and salt and all that stuff, then yeah, that's one thing. But yeah, if you're eating a very just animal based, not just beef and salt, you should be fine. Most people in this space are consuming dairy, are consuming, even if it's butter, or are consuming eggs and things like that. So most people should not need to supplement.
My iodine intake today was apparently 216.5 micrograms, which apparently is sufficient because I haven't died. I've been doing, for the most part, over 3.5 years. Seems to be all right. I haven't died, so I don't know.
You heard it here first. It's fine because Jonathan hasn't died.
No scurvy either. Yeah. Yeah, egg white protein added in, which may block the absorption of biotin. Water with vitamin. I just think eating wet egg whites are nasty. Egg yolks are bad. Yeah. The egg yolks are quite buttery. Some people don't like them because they can't tolerate that much sulfur in one given sitting. My brother, I think, is one of those people. He does not like egg yolks, but he quite likes egg whites with a bit of salt and pepper. So there's something to that, I think. Makes sense. Are there any more questions?
I think so. Oh, you're way up there. Holy cow.
This is like a Harry Sopranos live stream. 3 hours behind.
Oh, there's I think the next question is at 4:28 p.m. my time, which I think is 7:28. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. Matthew asked, I listen to heavy rock when driving to the gym. My favorite band is Skillet. I listened to them today. What are your favorite music artist bands? I actually did listen to Skillet on the way out from the gym today. I listened to... Oh, I'm not good with names. Nicole, what do you listen to?
When I'm working
bands?
out, I listen to a lot of Eminem, Godsmack, Disturbed, so either heavy metal or hip hop. And outside of the gym, I have a varied. I can listen to heavy metal, things like Billy Joel, Queen, stuff like that. So I have a pretty wide ranged music liking. Depends on my mood, but more so 80s rock, 80s, 90s rock.
Nice. Yeah. For me, Europe, Queen, The Weeknd, Two Steps from Hell, really slow motion, Trailerhead, Wasp.
Do you have your bands written down?
Yeah. Skillet. That's about it. But I'll cycle through. So I listen to like the whole album, but I'll do it for a week going to the gym or something, or cycling 15 minutes there, whatever. Then I'll change it to a different one. But I tend to listen to the same song for ages. Then I change it. I'll just cycle through it pretty much. A lot of music, a lot of movie soundtracks as well. I find that quite epic. I don't like lyrical music that much unless it's from the 80s for the most part.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, do I have any more questions? There we go. Ellie asked, my husband does judo and is looking for a clean protein shake. Do you have any recommendations? He's carnivore, so minimal junk if possible. In the US, the only one I ever hear people talk about is Equip Beef Protein. Over here, the ones I use in the UK are Bodybuilding Warehouse, Whey Protein Concentrate, and Keto Pro. I think it's called like Whey or something, or Keto Whey, something like that. But if you Google Keto Pro Whey, a guy called Richard Smith, who's in our space, produced that product. He's well-versed in nutrition, and I respect his opinions. And he sends me all of his products for free, so I have to mention him. But I actually would use his products and do use his products. I think they're good. And they are cost-effective as well. And I think they're very clean, all things considered, because he's not going to put something out that is low quality. A lot of them aren't behind the brand, but he is behind the brand. He actually makes the products and he is the face of it. So he doesn't want to be associated with something that's low crap, basically. But what about you, Nicole? What ones would you use?
I just use regular whey. I mean, I don't use protein all that often anymore, but if I do, it's just regular whey. So I'll use things like Ghost just because they have good flavors and it's low in sugar. But if you're looking for I look for things outside of Ghost. I look for things that are third-party tested. So PE Science Select is third-party tested, as well as Bare Performance Nutrition. They have good, clean, and good quality supplements, and they are those two brands I know for sure are third-party tested. So that's good when it comes to dosing and things like that, and the ingredients that are actually in there. So that's where third-party testing comes into play. So Bare Performance Nutrition and PE Science Select are third-party tested.
Nice one. Yeah, that's good to hear. Third-party testing is always a benefit, I think. If you can find a product like that, you often pay more for it, but sometimes it's worth it. I mean, I'm bigger on that when it comes to like health supplements than I am foods. Health supplements, they can have all sorts of crap in them. I've seen anecdotally more issues with those, having extra fillers, mercury binders, stuff in them which isn't actually meant to be in there. So I can appreciate that.
I think that's all the questions.
Yeah. Do you know who Ali G is?
I have no idea, but I like the emoji. I like the little smiley.
You're so uncultured. Right, Nicole.
See you later, Lee. Lee's taking off.
Oh, fair. Yeah, cheers for joining, Lee. We'll catch up soon. Send me one of those text messages, whatever it is. What else? Yeah, Ali G, you need to watch it. There's a film called Ali G in the House.
In the house.
So good. You'll see the resemblance straight away. It's like one of those things. If you don't see it, it's like, why have you not seen it? I wouldn't recommend it unless it's actually that good. Have a look on the thing. I'll put it up on the screen as well for him.
That's funny. See ya, Ellie.
Everyone's had enough of us. I might try and put it on the Should I share it on the screen?
Sure.
I can do that, I think.
You should be able to. You're the host.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay. Right, can you see it?
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's me. Ready? I'll play like a few seconds of it.
I can't hear it.
Not at all.
No.
Oh, what? Okay, I'll put a link in the chat for you guys. I think I know how to operate this system. I think that's it. Oh, done it wrong. No. There we go. Yeah, check it out. If any Americans are watching this right now, they're like, I don't know what's going on. Watch this. It's on the screen now. Best thing ever. Just type in Ali G into house movie and find like a link or stream for it, whatever. It's so funny. There's loads of movies like it. I'd highly recommend it. I don't recommend many things, but that's hilarious. Like British gang culture, basically, but like taken to the extreme.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, Richard Smith, the Keto Pro. I like him. He's delightful. We've got a question here. What are your thoughts on behind the neck press exercise using golden era of bodybuilding? I think it's more risk than reward. You're putting your shoulder in an unnatural plane of motion in that when the bar is behind your head, by default, your scapula has to be completely retracted. And if it's completely retracted, you can't have safe, effective movement because your shoulder is not moving for its natural path. So you're forcing your body to fight against itself when doing it. Now, people have done it and they have built great shoulders incorporating it into routines, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best exercise. So for what it's worth, if we look at EMG data, which is looking at the electrical muscular stimulation data when you put electrodes in your body and it measures how much of a force goes through it, you'll find that the signal is high when you do, for example, a front shoulder press, and you'll get some good stimulation on the front and side deltoid. Now, if you want more emphasis on the side deltoid, which most people want to get wider, basically, or build more width, you then include a side delt exercise. I'm sure you already know this, Matthew, but what workout looks like for pretty much all pro bodybuilders is a shoulder press, medium wide sort of grip, machine of your choosing, a side raise of your choosing. I like to bring it out slightly in front of me. That makes sense. It's a more natural movement for the shoulder to go in, as opposed to out directly to the side. And then I like to do a rear delt fly, which is that you might use cables machine. We go like that basically. That would target all of your shoulders muscles, and that's all you really need, to be honest. Have you tried this before, Nicole? Like a rear behind the neck shoulder press?
I have not. No.
Okay, don't do it. You might hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those movements, Jerry mentioned earlier, active insufficiency, where you feel the muscle working more because it's all pinched up, but it doesn't allow effective cross-bridging of the muscle fibers. So the filaments don't contract, expand, stretch appropriately.
Yeah,
so
I've seen
it gives you a
people do
false
them.
sense of like muscular activation. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people do them at the gym. I just never done them.
Yeah, not my favorite. I've been sleeping on the floor lately on my back, no pillow and only a blanket. I'm a weirdo, simply not wanting to be too comfortable. Some people I know actually sleep on the floor. I've known a few people in the past that have slept on the floor and they find it more comfortable, as in they don't get backache when they wake up. I can't comment on that. We used to do it naturally thousands of years back, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah, we should be able to do that. Could I do that now? No, my body is not natural. I'm extremely heavily muscled with big shoulders and a really fat head, apparently. So it's not going to work out too well. For those of you that don't know, I actually use about 4 or 5 pillows to keep my head on at night.
Damn, you do have
Yeah.
a big head.
It's a big head. Yeah, well, I'm all about comfort. I think the best lifestyle we can live is one which is comfortable. We're happy. We're not in pain. We don't piss people off. So if sleeping on the floor gets in people's way because they have to tread over you, which pisses them off, maybe don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Carnival Maps and Ramblings, live segment number 55.
Yeah, I'm probably
The
going to head
ultimate
off here in a
sleeping
few minutes
Q&A.
too, so I can eat a little something before my 6 p.m. stream, which is in a little over an hour.
Oh dear. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, on a disappear as well. I think I'm just rambling.
You're rambling on the muscle rambling.
I think it's been an excellent stream. We've answered lots of questions. We've helped lots of people. We've had an excellent super chat from Ben. We've had Jerome. We've had Nicole. We've had myself. We've had Sophie. It's been delightful.
Yeah.
We've had some music as well.
I mean, you know. Oh, is that my cue? Because I got
What's your
more.
cue?
All
More.
right.
Yeah, that does the job. All right. Well, thank you all for staying on. I appreciate all the guest time. I probably won't thank them again because I probably won't talk to them until next week. I probably will, but we'll see. Anyway, take care, guys, and we'll see you all soon.